In the previous video, we saw how to use this if command to separate data like this IQ column into two columns separated by gender, and then we made these histograms to compare the shape of the two populations and their centers, but sometimes a histogram shows more than we want to see, and it's easier to have a less detailed plot to compare two populations. So in this video, we're going to see how to make box and whisker plots out of these two. Unfortunately, there's not a great tool for making box and whisker plots in Google Sheets yet. There used to not be one in Excel either, and they added one. That's an improvement, but here's a tool that will be, I think, the easiest to learn. I'm clicking in column F, clicking the capital F, and then I'm holding Control and clicking in G to select both of those. Control C copies them. Now I'm going to go to shiny.chemgrid.org/boxplotr, and this is a tool that will let me just paste my data. So I'm coming over here to the left column where it says paste data. Notice what I did. I clicked on data upload, then on the left paste data. Click in this field, Control V to paste, and I don't see anything. But if I click Tab, suddenly I see all of my data here. Now what we can do is click on Data Visualizations and see that it has made box and whisker plots for those two populations pretty straightforwardly. This is using R to produce these box and whisker plots, but we didn't have to write any code. Notice that there are a few options over here. One of them is colors. Suppose I wanted the male IQ to be green and the female IQ to be purple. I can just put those names in and I get the colors straight away. We can also change the definition of whisker extent. We've talked about that in a standard. The first kind of box plot we talked about had whiskers that just extend to the minimum data point and the maximum data point. That's the spear method. Tukey is the method we're usually going to use, which extends to less than or equal to 1.5 times the IQR from the median in each direction and marks anything further than that as an outlier. Just so you know, this Altman method has whiskers that extend to the 5th and 95th percentile, but only if there are at least 40 data points. So we'll stick with the Tukey. There is a quick and easy box plot comparing these two populations. We can see quite easily that there's a small difference in the median IQ, but still a fair amount of overlap between the two populations in this relatively small data set of 78 7th graders. I can right-click on this graphic and save image as, get a PNG that I can easily insert into a document if I want. I can also download a PDF or scalable vector graphics or EPS file. Probably you'll find a PNG or JPEG to be the most useful thing in the applications that we'll be looking at in this statistics course. Notice also that there's a nice 5-number summary and a specification of the actual whisker values down here at the bottom of the page, which might be useful to you. A couple other nice features we can add are the add sample means, which shows the mean of the data that we have. With a plus symbol, I can see that the male IQ mean is slightly higher than the median, and the female mean is slightly lower than the median, indicating that there's opposite skew, though slight, in these two populations. And then we can also show display number of data points, and this will show that we have not quite the same number of data points in each of these two populations. So those are nice features that give us a little bit more information about the data represented by the box and whisker plot.